Hello everyone, today I will be ranking all 17 movies and shows in the DC Extended Universe, the franchise that began in 2013 with Man of Steel and ended today with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So I'll be ranking all 15 main movies as well as Zack Snyder's Justice League and Peacemaker. So without further ado, let's get into things. At number 17, Suicide Squad. This is a disjointed and messy movie with rough pacing, editing, a poor script, and it just feels like too much going on at once. Occasionally there's some sweet character moments. Margot Robbie's pretty good as Harley Quinn. But there's really not much to latch onto here or to like. It just feels like too much. At number 16, Joss Whedon's Justice League. This is a movie where I had fun the first time I watched it. The more I think about it, and especially after the release of Snyder's Justice League, it just doesn't work as a movie. I mean, it's like you can tell there's so much cut out. None of the characters get great moments to shine. There's too many jokey one-liners, and it just doesn't feel satisfying. Like, it doesn't feel like the building up of the Justice League was really that well earned, and the characters don't have many great moments, and the CGI is kind of rough. Number 15, Black Adam. This movie is great with the Justice Society. There's some fun moments, some cool action, some interesting direction. But the overall story is kind of dull. And even though it's a fun time, with Dwayne Johnson clearly doing solid in the role, and the Justice Society being pretty cool, it just doesn't stand out to be anything too unique, other than just like a decent enough superhero film. And while the post-credit scene was good, it's sad that it led to nowhere. Number 14, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It's a fun film. A solid leads with Aquaman and Orm, decent enough action, just kind of drags a bit in the middle, and most of the side cast stuff not much to do, but it's still fun to watch. Number 13, Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, and this kind of me reviewing the Ultimate Edition and the regular version in one. I like the cast, I like some of the ideas they put in place, but the execution is just kind of too dark and too gritty for my tastes. And even when it gets to some of the more satisfying action scenes and moments, it doesn't really feel like earned. But that being said, there's a pretty cool third act, and I do like some of the casting choices, while others I don't like as much, specifically Lex Luthor. But this is a movie that could have been a lot better. I just don't think they should have really started the DCU with Batman vs. Superman fighting. But I like Henry Cavill, I like Ben Affleck, and there's some other parts of the movie that are cool, and the final act is just really good fun. Number 12, Wonder Woman 1984. Now, I haven't seen this movie since its drop, but I remember having a fun time when I first watched it. The whole cast is pretty good. I like Chris Pine. I just remember it having questionable morals about the return of Steve Trevor, and kind of a weak ending that, like, I don't know, wasn't really super satisfying. It's a fun movie, but it's just so much weaker than the original, with not as much to keep you engaged. Number 11, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. This is a fun movie with great direction, a really solid cast. I just haven't seen it since it came out, so I don't have too much to say on it. It'd probably move up further on this list if I rewatched it at some point, but it's a fun movie. Margot Robbie's really great as Harley Quinn. I like the side cast. Ewan McGregor's great as Black Mask, and I appreciate the direction for this first R-rated entry in the DCEU. It just hasn't stuck with me as much, but maybe it will upon next watch. Number 10, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Now, I did have fun with this movie. I like the cast. I like the jokes. There were some cool additions to the lore. I just thought the villains were kind of weak. And overall, like, the movie's third act was just like, okay, this is happening now. But I like some of the new characters, specifically Rachel Zegler's. And once again, the family dynamics were great. And all the kid actors were genuinely really, really good. So this is a fun DCEU entry. Just doesn't live up to the first one. Number 9, Aquaman 1. I've always had a soft spot for this movie after seeing it in theaters. It's goofy, it's bombastic, it's fun, it's got a great cast. And yeah, it's really, really dumb. There's a lot of things just kind of happening, but it's a fun adventure film. Jason Momoa is great, and it's just enjoyable to watch. Number 8, Man of Steel. While I may think at times while watching this movie it's definitely too dark of a take on Superman, it certainly has its moments. I think Henry Cavill is a really, really solid pick. The musical score is great. The flying scenes and action sequences are great. Michael Shannon is a good actor portraying Zod. The whole cast is pretty good. It's just things don't necessarily come together as well as they should. But when the movie is working, it really, really works. Number 7, Shazam, a fun and heartfelt family comedy that I just have a really, really good time with. I enjoyed the action. I love Zachary Levi in the title role. Mark Strong as Dr. Savannah is pretty fun. And just the whole dynamic of a kid becoming a superhero is explored so well and so entertainingly in this movie. And it's just a blast. It's one of the most fun movies in the whole franchise. Number 6, Wonder Woman, an engaging and well-told action movie with a great cast. Seeing the exploration of Themyscira in the World War I setting is really, really, really good. And it makes for like the best of the early DCEU movies, of that first phase of DCEU. And it just feels like it has that epicness and satisfaction that you want from a superhero movie that you didn't get to any of the prior ones. Number 5, The Flash. Now, this is a movie that I had a lot of fun with. The one scene at the end with the CGI cameos is absolutely horrendous, but the rest of the movie is pretty fun. It's got cool action. I love the return of Michael Keaton's Batman. Ezra Miller is pretty solid. I like Superman. And there's a great emotional core centering around Barry's parents that's really cool. And it's a neat multiverse concept. So while there are some scenes in the movie that are not great, overall there's a lot of other things in the movie that I think work really, really well. Number 4, Blue Beetle. This is a great family drama, a great introduction of a new hero. I love the new city they introduce. Zolo is great as Blue Beetle. Jaime Reyes, sorry. And it's a lot of fun, great action, a really, really amazing suit design. And I love, like, this is like Shazam, where the movie works really well because of the focus on family, leading to a sweet story with some emotional and funny moments. The next 3 are kind of interchangeable, but I'll just rank them as it is. Number 3, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. This is an insanely fun movie with unique direction, a bright and well-done visual tone, great music, a great soundtrack, and a phenomenal cast, and a good movie finally showing this is the Suicide Squad. Anyone can die. It's a bunch of D-listers who get killed, but it also leads to some hilarious moments, a really heartfelt ending, an awesome epic action finale against Starro. Bloodsport, Harley Quinn, King Shark, Ratcatcher, Polka Dot Man, Peacemaker, Rick Flag, all are great fleshed out characters, and their whole story is so well done, and this is one of James Gunn's best films. Number 2, Zack Snyder's Justice League. This movie is a superhero epic that does better than all of Zack Snyder's other epic movies because it focuses so much more on hope and the preservation of life and how these heroes team up and respect each other. And there's epic moments, and there's darker moments, and there's comedic moments. But they don't feel like they're clashing like they do in the other films. It feels like a solid through line. And even though the movie is a little long, I still love like how much development each character gets, how it leads to such an epic and satisfying finale. And while I'm disappointed this won't be continued, I'm happy that this is a movie we got because it's a really, really great DC movie. But my favorite thing in the DCEU, number 1, Peacemaker. Kind of shocking that the best thing in this whole franchise is this TV show, but I love it. I have such a soft spot for it. John Cena and the whole cast do such a good job, and I love it showing it more of like the surface level, like people of the DCEU. It's hilarious. The plot is engaging. The finale is action-packed, and it takes these characters who are basically nothing in the grand scheme of things and makes them some of the best written DC characters in this whole franchise. And it's just funny, it's heartfelt, it's so engaging, it's got a consistent tone and feeling, and it's something that makes me happy whenever I watch it. And maybe it's not the best thing in the DCU, but it's the one that I love the most. So yeah, that's my ranking of the DC Extended Universe, the end of the franchise. Maybe some aspects of it will continue to the DCU, but overall it's kind of a mixed bag of the franchise, but there's a lot of projects that I'm really happy with, and overall, it was a decent enough run, but I'm excited to see where we go from here. I hope you guys liked the video. Coming tomorrow, my review of Rick and Morty Season 7. See y'all then. Bye for now.